Good guys, we got another Sage Rain video in this bitch. It's gonna be a goated peak fucking topic that he's gonna be discussing. It's DC related. It's not an art to this time or anything else. It's Batman and Joker, the two sides of the same coin. Very interesting, intriguing title that he has. I'm very curious to see what he has to say on these particular two fictional individuals. And in all honesty, they're great fucking characters. Incredible. Probably one of the best out of all fictional verses out there, or at least considered in the top 5, top 3, or even top 10 for a majority of people to be one of the best heroes or villains to even coincide and interact with one another, embracing with their philosophies and moralities and their conflict and ideologies, and it's just going all over the fucking place, right? So we're gonna kind of see what this is all about, and let's do it.
That separates you from the Joker. It's one bad day. That's the only thing. Batman and Joker, two sides of the same coin. The continuous dance between the greatest detective of the world and the clown prince of crime begins with their related backstories, carrying the specific theme of having one bad day that turned them both into what they are as we know them now. The Batman and Joker understand each other like no one else can. Batman, born in Gotham City, to the wealthy Thomas and Martha Wayne, witnessed their murders firsthand in a crime alley by the mugger Joe Chill, who let the young Bruce Wayne escape. This firsthand experience caused the young Wayne intense trauma and influenced him with a sense of justice and an enhanced need for vengeance. The ingredients needed to create the ideology of the Batman. The Joker, on the other hand, has many different histories, but the most known is that Joker was a struggling comedian. He then turned to crime under the moniker Red Hood to support his wife. One day, Batman stops him, and the Joker trips and falls into a vat of chemicals, bleaching his skin white, disfiguring his face, and altering his mind. The Joker wants to prove to the world that Batman is not some almighty being who can only do good. No matter how solidified their moral code may be, no matter how unwavering their sense of justice is, they can be broken. He wants to prove that the Bat is human, that he can do bad things, that he can break his own rules. The Joker is the perfect opposite and the perfect villain to Batman. Their very natures are completely opposed. Batman represents justice and tries to bring order. Joker represents pure chaos and crime. Batman's moves are well thought out, planned and calculated. Joker is radical, random, and unpredictable. Some iterations of the two are made to believe that they are in fact one and the same, that they are both insane and need each other. Joker will continue to cause havoc and Batman will always hunt him down. But no matter what Joker does, Batman will never kill him. He will only place him in Arkham Asylum, only for him to escape again and restart this vicious cycle. Joker is aware of this, and his only goal is to try and do the most twisted things, to try to get him to break. Joker killed Jason Todd, and still the Dark Knight didn't break. In The Killing Joke, he turned his attention towards others. He paralyzed and raped Barbara Gordon, tortured her father, Commissioner Gordon, and showed him the explicit pictures that he took of his daughter, all in an attempt to prove that all it takes is one bad day. Batman's moral code is so ingrained into him, as if it were a chain. This game, this dance with the Joker will never end, because Batman has to defeat the Joker on his own terms, with his own moral code, with his own ideology, by the book. If Batman cracks and kills him, the Joker wins. Justice is one of the last things Batman has to hold on to. One could argue that he already is insane, and I believe that if he were to kill, and it being Joker at that, Batman would snap, and a different, more twisted entity of himself would emerge. Because that moral code, that ideology, being by the book, that sense of justice is his tether that holds him down, and centers his very being. In this dance between the Bat and the Clown, there is a prevalent theme of sanity, or rather insanity. looking at the idea.
Yeah, so far he's spitting absolute facts. Like, it's, the relationship that the Joker and Batman has is very complex and complicated. Like, it's really a battle of endurance and will, and really, 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 like, constant, like, testing, between their convictions, what I mean, and for what they truly stand for and for what they embrace, and so on and so forth. And it's been said all the time and shown, but Joker, all he's ever really trying to do is not only make Batman better, but to also really, really see if he does have breaking points, and to see whether or not if he truly is a man of honor and to what he stands for, and so on and so forth. The whole hero idealism, and to never cross that line, to always do what's right, and to enforce justice, right? Even no matter how cruel or dark life can be, or unfair, etc., the whole nine. Like, at the end of the day, that's just what inherently is what is most important: to never give up and to never break, and to always believe in the idea of redemption, and and to give people a chance, and so on and so forth, and just to do what is always the righteous thing, right? Even when it could cause even more harm, or is obviously not a legitimate solution to the problem, right? So and it's, again, it's one of just the most intriguing concepts between the two, and if anything, it's shown in many derivatives and all around in many fictional verses too, with the whole concept of not killing and killing, or when it's deemed necessary and when it's not, or whether if it should be done at any point in time or not, except, like, we see all the time Daredevil, Punisher, and Invincible, with Mark, and so on and so forth. Like there's just many examples and many ways we've seen tons of similarities or exact moments being replicated, but just in slightly different ways, and it truly is an incredible contentious concept, between fictional characters, and better yet, even in the IRL scheme of things in our world, it really does, make you think, based upon the question, like, what truly is the right thing to do, to take a life, or to always endure and to not take a life, and go along the realm of, believing and redemption and character and growth and etc., or is there a limit? Like, yeah, you cannot kill whatever, etc., but, let's say it does more harm than good to keep someone alive to that, caliber of statue. And they're like, and you basically, it's just more lost, right? With allowing them to be around, is it truly the right choice, to let that be, and is it really just better to take the life instead, right? You save more lives at that point, So, I don't know. It's a very interesting thing, it really is very interesting. And I've seen opposing arguments for either sides, and so on and so forth. And all honesty, I think there's no true right answer, but I do think it just depends on the circumstances of it. And that I do think both is correct. I mean? I think Batman is inherently correct all around and overall, but when it comes to someone as dangerous or as complicated as the Joker, or to just anyone that is, a genocide threat, or just really, really dangerous, right? And is obviously always getting out and causing more havoc and harm and mayhem. I think when it comes to that point in time, you do have to make the harsh decision and really be cutthroat and dry, and do what is necessary, So again, like, I think both is technically correct, but all around and overall, I'd be more on the Batman theme inside of things, So that's really all he had for the most part. But again, he's doing a great job, and I know there's other things that he also brought into it and talked about as well. But we don't really need to get further into that. But great points overall. But I really wanted to talk about that in particular.
That both Batman and the Joker are insane. While there are many definitions of insanity, I'm going to use the one coined by Albert Einstein, which is that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same result. But I believe that this definition only applies to the Batman. With this definition, I present to you the final panel of The Killing Joke. While I gave this definition of insanity, it was to demonstrate Batman's moment of sanity towards the Joker. Batman's approach to beating the Joker has always been the same. Capture him, bring him to Arkham. But in this panel, Batman tries a different method. He talks to the Joker. and for a brief instant it seems to work. It's a heart-to-heart. He tells the Clown Prince how he understands him, and that he too once had a bad day. He tells him that instead of prison, they can work to rehabilitate him. The Bat, for a moment, realizes that their eternal dance has to end one day. It must. For the betterment of society, but for them, more importantly, the dance has to end because they don't want to kill each other. In this moment, Batman attempted to appeal to Joker's humanity. But it's the Joker, and he refused, telling the Bat that it's too late, and instead presents him.
This reminds me of a joke. See, there were two guys locked in a lunatic asylum. And one night they decided they didn't like that anymore. They decided to escape. So they made it up to the roof and...
Not gonna lie, guys, it's such a fucking peak moment. And most importantly, like, this literally...
Yeah.
There's still charge, Elliot. But if you want the tablet, by all means. Okay. Here. If that's what you want, take it. What's this? Iconic and peak moments in DC, and for stories fictional between hero and villains, etc., and especially just for Batman alone, for all the comics, etc. But I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Like, just absolutely an incredible fucking story. The Killing Joke is one of the most incredible Batman comics out there. Definitely at least top 3 or top 5, or at least top 10 for all the Batman stories, right? You know, such a good fucking story, dude. But let's listen to this legendary quote.
Stretching across town, stretching to freedom. Now, the first guy, he jumps right across, no problem. But his friend, oh, no way. He's afraid of falling. So the first guy, he has an idea. He says, hey, I got this flashlight with me. I'll shine it across the gap between the buildings and you can walk across the beam and join me. But the second guy says, what do you think I am? Crazy? You just turn it off when I'm halfway across.
Batman and the Joker are the two escaping the insane asylum.
But the second guy says, what do you think I am? Crazy? You just turn it off when I'm halfway across.
Batman and the Joker are the two escaping the insane asylum. A joke of multiple interpretations. To me, Batman is the first inmate. After his bad day, he jumped across the bridge no problem. He is willing to move on and to continue. But Joker is afraid to seek the help that he needs. Instead, he finds comfort in his insanity. He is afraid to face the trauma and the grief built inside of him. And when Batman pleads to try and help him, he believes he'll turn off the flashlight. He believes the Dark Knight will just imprison him once again. The reason they are two sides of the same coin is because of their essence, their very being is intertwined. One bad day has defined their entire lives.
It's a good video. It's a really good, deep video. Very, very good. I loved it. Did a great job, as he always, again, fucking does. Shout out to Sage Rain once again. Give him all the love and support. And definitely check out Sage Rain if you guys haven't. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below as well, guys. And as always, make sure you like the video. That's how we get traction for the videos. That's how the channel itself, for me, for it to grow and to really get more, bigger and bigger, and for me to eventually do more things for you guys. And the sky is the limit, you know, and so on and so forth, and to really embrace everything as a whole as a content creator for you guys. So definitely hit the like button, subscribe for more content, subscribe if you guys love the channel, and especially if you do want more content, because eventually once I do get to the end of this list of my watch later, and I eventually do all the videos I'm going to be reacting for you guys, once we get to that end point, I'm going to be considering whether or not if I'm going to be continuing to do reactions and so on and so forth, because at the end of the day, if it's not really a demand that's required from you guys, and if you guys aren't really wanting it and so on and so forth, and I'm probably going to go to different, you know, areas, or just maybe think about something else as a whole, right? You know, or at least focus my time on different things, and so things that are more productive as a whole. you know, and things like that. And obviously, if there's ever like something really good out there, you know, to react to, whatever, then sure I could do that. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, that's kind of what you're working with. It's good. It's good content value. You know, there's infinite amount of content we could practically do because of reacting. But at the same time, if the numbers aren't there, and if you guys aren't really wanting that, then is there really a point? And I'd rather just stick to the core values of what this channel originally started off, which was just gaming, and then eventually was just Naruto and things like that, right? You know. But anyways, as always, guys, Batman out. Base.